back with yet another first impressions. Okay, and this one I'm actually really pumped up for. I've actually been pumped up for all these first impressions, but we're going to be saving some money here today. At least, hopefully, we'll see if it's a good enough fragrance to purchase and save money with. And the reason why I'm saying that we're going to be saving money is because we have a clone of Parfums de Marly, Layton, which happens to be really their bestseller, their most popular scent, their #1 hit, kind of the scent that really put them on the map, so to speak. I mean, if anyone has a Parfums de Marly fragrance, chances are it's going to be Layton. This is the first one most people get. You know, the main problem with this one for a lot of folks is that it's just expensive, and it is. Even at discounted, you're still paying up over $200 for this. So if you want to get into a similar smelling fragrance for about $40, we've got Lalique White and Black. From what I've heard, this is going to be a pretty solid Layton clone or alternative. And so, well, yeah, we're going to check this out. So here we have the bottle. Okay, looks very sharp. It truly is white and black. Okay, snap-on cap. Take a sniff. Nothing there yet, I figured, right? Looks really nice, though. You can see there's not much going on in the back except for, am I facing it the right way? It does say Layton on the back, so I guess from the factory they knew that this was going to smell shockingly similar to a Parfums de Marly product. I'm just kidding. They included a pretty little crayon, a white crayon, #MakeYourMark Lalique. So you can draw all over your bottle like that, and it wipes right off. So if people are triggered that I drew on my own bottle, like I did with Paco Rabanne Phantom, don't worry, it comes off. Let's go ahead and get this one on skin here, and we will kind of see how this one goes here. Let's find some prime real estate. Nice atomizer on this one here. Ooh, yeah, right away. Right away, I'm getting big Layton vibes for sure. It's got that apple up top right away. It's like a crisp, sweet apple. Getting a whole boatload of sweetness as well. A little bit of a cinnamon kick. Yeah, this is Layton right here. So let's go and take a look at the note breakdown. They did go ahead and give us a healthy note breakdown. They didn't go down the path of 3 chintzy notes and that's it. You know, luckily most of us can kind of pick out what's in a fragrance anyway, so the 3 note breakdown thing, you know, it's annoying, but it's not the end of the world. But I do like to see a brand that takes the initiative to list off a full pyramid here. And so we'll take a look at that. We've got bergamot, olibanum, and grapefruit up top. We've got cardamom, lavender, pink pepper, and elemi in the mid. We have vanilla, ambrox, and patchouli, cedarwood, and tolu balsam in the base. So like I said, a nice healthy amount. And we do see some similarities. One thing I am noticing is no apple note according to them. No cinnamon note either according to them. A couple key factors in Layton. So there are some differences there notes-wise. But again, in terms of smell, I mean, it's Layton. So what I am getting, though, out of what they give us here is a nice healthy dose of that vanilla. It's nice sweet vanilla, kind of syrupy vanilla as well. Kind of embodies the scent, wraps it up, makes it very smooth, very sweet, very silky. I'm also picking up on bits and pieces of the patchouli, and that's kind of giving off this kind of masculine, I don't know, mature kind of woodiness to some extent. A little bit in there is kind of how it's coming across. It's not a super dank or earthy or dark patchouli. It's of the kind of fresher variety to some extent, just giving it a little bit of a texture. Cardamom pops off pretty good up top as well, and that's giving off a nice spiciness. So that cardamom would be the replacement of the cinnamon in Layton is kind of how I'm seeing it here, because you do get a spiciness, and that's kind of where that would be coming from. Again, there's no apple listed, so I guess the freshness would be coming from the bergamot and grapefruit, I guess is what they would want you to think, right? For me, I don't know, I still feel like I pick up on an apple smell. I just feel like I do. Yeah. You know, maybe bergamot heavy some extent as well. Yeah, like a bright grapefruit bergamot, I guess. I still think a little bit of apple. One thing that you get up top as well is the oleibandum. It's kind of giving off a little bit of a smoke to some extent, a little bit of a resinous smokiness. And Layton has a little bit of that going on as well. Now, I will say they're very close, within probably, I don't know, 90%, right? 90% of each there. What I will say, one of the main differences I'm seeing, though, is that it doesn't have that super menthol, kind of minty, cooling nature that Layton has. And you can smell that off the atomizer of Layton. You could smell it when you spray it up in the air, this kind of mintiness that it gives your nose when you smell it. It doesn't have that, which to some would be probably a positive. I've seen it go both ways, just like with fragrances, with everything, right? Some people like certain aspects, some people don't. I've seen where people say, yeah, I like Layton. I could do without that mintiness. I just want the apple, the cinnamon, the vanilla, all of that stuff. And other people are kind of like, yo, I like that mintiness. It's a little bit different. For me, I kind of fall into the latter there. You know, I kind of like that as well. It gives it something different. It gives it some variety. At first, it really threw me off. When I was first trying it out, I'm like, okay, what is that I'm picking up on here? It seems almost out of place. Now I like that about Layton, right? But, you know, everyone's going to have different opinions and different takes on that, which is totally fine. So if you're someone who doesn't like that mintiness, doesn't really have it here in Lalique White and Black. So that's cool. Another thing I'm noticing here as we're kind of settling down on skin is that even more of the patchouli is coming through, even more of the cedar wood is coming through. Now you're still picking up on that vanilla, so it still has that sweetness, but just a little bit more woods heavy in the base, kind of mature, masculine woods. Still getting that sweetness going on. A little bit of lavender also. Lavender, but then also some more resins. So again, you have the oleibandum up top, you have the elemi in the mid. So it's like the elemi and the resins and the woods coming through to give it a little bit of a different twist. Also some of the spiciness still, the cardamom, the pink pepper, that's also coming into play. Here's what I notice, that for the price, this one has a surprising amount of dimension. I'm kind of picking up on equal parts. I'm picking up on a good, healthy amount of the notes in the mid, a good chunk of notes in the base. You get the top notes right off the rip, and all of that kind of lingers through even as it's settling down. You know, it doesn't get on your skin and then turn flat. It doesn't turn two-dimensional. It doesn't turn boring. Like, not all, but of course, a good amount of fragrances in this lower price range will tend to do. A lot of fragrances, especially when you get down to $40, $30, or whatever and below, you start getting into the realm of, okay, is this going to have something that keeps me captivated from opening to dry down? Is it going to just fall off and get boring? You never really know until you try it. A note breakdown won't tell you that. You could have 100 notes in a $30 fragrance, but it could still be flat and boring and kind of a throwaway. I have to say, Lalique, as a house, they have some really good fragrances. So I wasn't going into this one thinking that it was going to be a dud. I had, you know, relatively decent expectations. But now that I have it on skin, it's actually exceeded my expectations. Again, I'm getting so many nuances from the woods to the vanilla to the spiciness, you know. It's like each time you go in and you smell it, you pick up on all of those different layers, and that's impressive with a fragrance in this price point. It really is. Now, is it going to be as high of quality as Layton? No, it's not quite to that level. Is it going to be a one-to-one dead ringer exact clone of Layton? No, not really quite that level either. Again, I hate putting numbers on things because even numbers in a hobby like this can be perceived wildly different, but I'd say about 90% similar, right? And that may sound, you know, like that 10% is a huge difference between the two, but it not really so much, you know. It's just the main thing is kind of that, the fact that the mintiness, menthol smell goes away, and also that it's relatively woods and patchouli heavy in the dry down. That's kind of the main difference. You know, with Layton in the dry down, still sweeter, still a little bit more spicy and warm, more warm spicy in the dry down, as you would expect there. This one, it's more kind of woody, woody spicy, woody sweet, less warm spicy, I guess, as if you wanted to describe it that way in the dry down, but still very close, more close than not, and definitely a very, very good Layton alternative on the market within this price point. You know, there are more out there for sure. There's a Tommy Hilfiger Impact Intense, which is kind of close to Layton as well. That one you can't really get at a price that this low at this time. This is going to be one of your more affordable alternatives. And I have to say, I am thoroughly impressed. This is one that I would gravitate and reach towards if I wanted a Layton smell, but, you know, I didn't want to wear my bottle of Layton. You know, again, it is expensive stuff. If you were going out for a quick little dinner or quick running some errands or something like that, you know, you're just going to be out for a couple hours, maybe you're going to come home, take a shower, it would probably be a waste to wear Layton, right? You know, washing it off after a couple of hours, that would be a little bit painful. Even if you had a lot of bottles of this stuff, it's still, each time you spray it, you can feel that. You're like, ah, man, there goes another spray. But with this, you could spray it on heavily. You could spray it on strong. You could wear it every single day to work, and it only cost you $40. So taking a look at FRAGRANCEBUY.CA, the performance is kind of in the middle, moderate for longevity. I'll have to test that. Still got some cooler weather, some spring left here, or winter, I guess, coming into spring, which it's still going to be cold lately. So I could test it in this cooler weather and see how it does performance-wise. What is this? This is an eau de parfum, so that is good. You know, it is kind of wearing like an eau de parfum, has a good amount of richness. So we'll see how it is. Projection is kind of in the same. It's in the, what is that? Moderate category for projection. For me, it's not pushing off too strong right now, but what it is doing is leaving a nice trail in the air. So definitely not bad. Yeah, there it is. Lalique White and Black, my first impressions. I like it a lot. It smells very similar to Layton. And I think at this price point, it is very hard to pass up. If you've tried this one, let me know down below. I will link it down below to the current best, lowest possible price online that you can get this one for. It's also where I got it from. Picked it up just because I was curious to check it out, and I'm glad I did. Easy worth $40. And I also want to say this. It's apparently a limited edition, at least according to what I've seen online. So while it's $40, may not be a bad idea to get it. Who knows how long they're going to be producing this limited edition? Who knows if it's actually going to be limited or not? But, you know, you may not want to drag your feet too much for this one. You don't want to let this one get to where it's $80, $100. Then you're already getting into the territory of more expensive clones, but also you're getting almost halfway to the price of a bottle of real Layton. So don't let it get to that point. While it's $40, if you're interested and you want a Layton alternative, scoop it up down below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.